Hello, everyone. This is your favorite history teacher again, Christopher Schoenberg, and thank you again for joining me on Great Historical Pursuits. Today, we're going to explore a topic. It's one that we've all come across, and one that's inherent on with social studies. It's teaching controversial topics, and our history is full of good things and bad things, all from where we've come from, basically, and what we've learned from, and why we're here today. But I believe we have certainly learned from them and are far better off now than our colonial counterparts. So, teaching controversial topics in social studies can be challenging, but at the same time, it's immensely rewarding. It's an opportunity to foster classroom norms like critical thinking, empathy, and respectful discourse amongst our peers. Today, we're going to give an in depth guide on how I might approach controversial topics effectively in the classroom. So, for one, you're going to have to choose appropriate topics. Select those that are relevant to your curriculum, at the same time, must be age appropriate for your students, and most importantly, have the educational value. Uh, there is going to be a plethora of topics that may come up relating to politics, social justice or injustice, human rights, ethics, and historical events. You have to set clear learning objectives. Students are going to need to know what they're going to learn and why. Clearly define what you want students to learn from the discussion that you're going to have. I will aim to develop critical thinking skills, encourage open dialogue, and promote empathy. Um, Here, I will align objectives with educational standards and the overall goals of the curriculum. Establish a safe and inclusive environment. Creating a classroom culture where all opinions are respected and valued it has to be a top priority. I will set ground rules for respectful communication and ensure that students feel comfortable expressing their viewpoints without fear or judgment from anyone. Provide context and background information. We'll start by providing the historical context, factual information, and multiple perspectives on the topics. This will help students understand the complexity of the issue, and it prevents the discussion from possibly being one-sided. And the multiple perspectives is it's highly important because with history you need to look at it from different lenses, and you need to be able to argue it based on the actual facts. Next would be teach critical thinking skills. I'll help guide students in analyzing sources, evaluating evidence, and recognizing bias both in writing and of their own. We'll encourage them to question assumptions, identify any fallacies, and differentiate between fact and opinion. The use of primary sources. I'll incorporate primary sources such as documents, letters, speeches, and visuals to provide firsthand insights into historical events or viewpoints. This will help students develop a deeper understanding of the topic. Encouraging empathy, again, I've kind of hit on that a couple times, but by fostering empathy, this will encourage students to consider alternative perspectives and put themselves in the different shoes of the individuals who might be affected by the topic. This can lean to more nuanced discussions and increased engagement and understanding of the topic. Framing questions effectively by crafting open ended questions that encourage critical thinking, I'll promote discussion. The goal here is to avoid leading questions that push students towards one specific response. Again, that's not what you want. You want them to critically think on their own and develop their own ideas and go from there. Uh, Teaching civil discourse skills. This is going to be through modeling and teaching students how to engage in civil discourse. It'll ultimately lead to expressing opinions without resorting to personal attacks, listening actively, and responding thoughtfully. Providing closure. Goal here is to end the discussion by summarizing key points, reflecting on the learning experience, and reiterating the importance of respectful dialogue, even when discussing challenging topics. And finally, one of the most important is following up with reflection. So, through assigning like follow up activities, journaling, or essays where students can reflect on what they've learned, their perspectives they encountered might change, and it's important to kind of go back and take a look and reflect on it. So there's going to be changes in their understanding, and through this, hopefully they'll be able to come to something and have a engaging activity. And I'm going to close out with remember that teaching controversial topics is an ongoing process that requires adaptability and sensitivity. By providing a safe, informed, and respectful learning environment, we can help students engage with complex issues, develop their critical thinking skills, and my favorite, becoming active and informed citizen. Thank you again for joining me, and looking forward to the next post.